You know it's cold when I pull out my vest, people. It has been nicer out, but it is still very cold in this basement studio. Today we were painting and we're talking about 5 rules in watercolor that you should learn to break. You need to know the rules, but I'm gonna tell you what to do instead. And we're gonna be painting some beautiful florals together in a vase. So without further ado, let's get to painting. All right, as you're spraying down your palette, getting everything ready, just grab whatever brush you'd like to use today. I actually have a filbert brush, and just because you don't have it, doesn't mean you can't paint this. You could use a round brush like this. This is a 12. But you know, this is just one of my favorites, and we're gonna start just putting some interesting flowers down, some really basic flower shapes. So with my reference, I'm just using a reference quite loosely because we want to make this our own. So I'm just gonna start putting some brush strokes down. This is gonna be a little bit of a poppy, just swooping those petals, going around this way too. There's another one that's sticking out right here. So we'll just do that. We're kind of basically following the shape that I'm seeing, adding some red. Actually, there's red here. And adding one over here. But we also know that we can just change things up as we see fit. And so in this video today, I am sharing some tips for you, those watercolor rules that I thought were kind of cool to go over so that you can learn them, so that you can break them, because that's honestly what I want to teach you. But if you don't know how to do something, it's really hard to break. So we are just putting these swoops of color, this beautiful pink in here, kind of like a, sort of looks like a tulip, but I mean, not on here, just on my reference, kind of looks like a tulip. And so I'm putting in these little shapes, just not really concerned about getting them right, all right? So just these blobs, you can even just put blobs on your paper and it's gonna be okay because we add in details and dimensions later. So I'm gonna put this down. I'm going to grab this other brush, my round brush, and I'm going to grab some light yellow. There's kind of this brown in there. It's a bit tan, just really runny. And my first tip to share with you guys today is, so this is the tip, right? That people say, a lot of people that want to be exact, they'll say that you need to sketch and kind of plan out everything that you want to do. And so I would say that I think it's really important when you're learning to plan some things because you're not really sure how things are going to turn out. And it just gives you that peace of mind that you know where you're going with stuff. But I would argue that it's not something you need to do always, okay? Because you can jump in like we're doing today without a sketch. We're just putting brush strokes down. It might make us feel nervous, but that's okay. If we're going to take some of this paint that's just moving around, I'm just gonna, a little more concentrated, just pop some paint in. Just see what happens. Just a little bit of some contrast there. For this one, I could take a little yellow, pop in some yellow. I'm popping in some water too, so it's gonna give me some blooms. This might feel like a very messy way to paint, but it's also a very nice way to ease in to breaking some of the rules that you've heard you have to follow. All right, let's get to some purple. I don't use purple too much. I'm gonna use this one. It's kind of a purpley mauvey color. And so I'm okay with this one. This is nice. We're just gonna do, I'm looking at my reference, we're just gonna do some little quick, sketchy lines here. And you're gonna see that this is gonna come together in the most unexpected way. But we are just trying to learn what the rules are and also learn how we can break them so we can feel more confident as we go along. I'm just gonna put in just little dabs here for some florals, okay? Little dabby marks, leaving some white space. And at this point, I want to pause and start with my vase. My vase is just very loose vase. I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'll keep with that number 12. And kind of wanting to get a color that's a little bit more on the neutral side because we've got a lot of bright going on here, a lot of blooms happening. We're embracing what is. But this brings me to my second thing. I'm just going to grab whatever is on my palette. I want you guys to just take ownership, grab whatever's on your palette, whatever's calling to you. And we're just going to do a really, really loose vase. So, and don't worry about it being perfect. We're not doing that today. We don't really do a lot of that on my channel. We just paint for fun. I'm going to paint this all in. So go ahead and do that at this time. And you've got some bleeding, that's okay. It's fine because we are just trying to have fun. And that's a big thing about loose flowers. You kind of embrace what happens, the bleeding, and that's the beauty of watercolor. It can feel frustrating, but we're just gonna go with it. I'm gonna leave that there and we can add in some greenery later. And I am gonna make this a little more rounded here at the front. So friends, what is my second tip for you? Well, I guess I should say that the tip comes after the rule, because there's another rule that I've heard is to stay within the lines, right? So we've heard that our whole lives. Let's take a smaller brush. This is a 6. We're gonna add a little bit of poof up there. Yep, that's the official word, poof, and over here, some eucalyptus shapes. Let's start with the eucalyptus over here. So nice green color, add some blue to your green, or just use the green that you wanna use, and you're good to go. Just do some little oval shapes. So yeah, I used to color in coloring books as a kid. Do little ovals, okay? Just all the way kind of cascading down, wherever you want to put them. And leaving a little white space is pretty. So I was always told when I was coloring in my coloring books, stay within the lines. And I think that whole mindset of coloring books stayed with me, at least with my watercolor experience, because then I think, well, I gotta stay within the lines. Like I have to stay within the parameters of like my reference, the way it is. I need to make sure that all the lines are exactly the same. I need to make sure that I'm also not touching some watercolor, together with another, because it'll bleed and spread like this and it will be a whole sloppy mess. And so for you, your stay within the lines might, sound very different than mine and how I was taught and how I was learning to do art. But the thing is, we are just going to bypass that. Because the thing is, we want to let paint bleed. We want to let things spread together. We want to see what happens. That's what watercolor does. And when we decide that we can't do that, or we've been told that we shouldn't, it starts to feel very limiting. And so the bleeds that go together, it drips, it wanders. Sometimes you get some really beautiful moments when you allow that to happen. Let's take some more green. I'm just going to take that same color, dab it on your paper towel to control the water. And we're just going to connect these with really thin stems, okay? So take your time with this, because this is supposed to be very relaxing, not stimulating. Maybe you're learning, but at the same time, it's supposed to be something that really just brings you some joy in this moment, helps you slow down, helps you forget about all the problems in the world. So that's good for now. All right, I'm gonna put in some stems too, just using that same green. And I do like to arc them as I'm putting those in. So go ahead. And you can attach them just like that. So my third rule that I'm sharing is it's always wait for layers to dry. Because if you don't, your paint is going to spread everywhere. You're not going to be able to control it. It's going to get messy. It's going to get temperamental. It's going to get frustrating. And so I think it's a good rule if you do want to behave and make sure that everything is staying where it needs to go. But at the same time, as we've kind of done, when you drop in some paint, for example, let's drop in this green over here. It's going to start spreading and creating a little different texture, a look to it that you wouldn't know about if you didn't work with wet on wet. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and wait for some layers to dry, and other layers, we're just going to keep going. So for this side here, I'd like to add in some greenery, and I'm just going to do these really quick flicks of the wrist. Does that make sense? Just like that. I just want to have some dry brushing here. I want to have it look different than on this side. Also, this side, I'd like to have a little bit more height on this part with some of the flowers. So I'm just going to take some of this orange and I'm going to just do some dabbing to create some florals here on the stems. That was kind of my idea when I was putting these greens in, but now we'll do it. So now we've got a little bit here, so just dabbing your brush quickly, keeping that looseness, a lot of white space in between. And if you want it to take it down where the stem is like that, down further, you can. I'm choosing to do that. All right, so this looks very different than my original, and I like just making it my own. Grabbing some more green, and we can start to put in maybe some more of these marks over here, just a little bit here. But I do want to keep this fairly shorter compared to this side. Just a few, just to balance it out too. Okay, so we have our first layer. It's very light, and you know, we're gonna put some contrast here to really make it come alive. So let's go ahead and let this dry for this reason, and then we're gonna come back. I've dried this almost completely. I left this a little wet because we're not gonna work with that right away. And then for this, I'm just kind of thinking about what I'd like to do. I want to darken up some things. I want to put in some centers. I really like these blooms. I just think it shows off our watercolor and what it can do quite nicely. A lot of people try to stay away from the blooms, but I think they're beautiful. So with my number 6, I'm going to a smaller brush and I'm going to a bit more concentrated paint. I'm just going to use that same mauve paint that I used before and just add in some quick flick of the wrist brush strokes. Not everywhere, but just in a few places. And then over here too, some dabbing. And what we're doing is we're adding what we call shadows. Now, are they exact? Are they accurate? No, not mine. But they are meant to just give contrast and depth and interest in a painting. So we've got those. And then I'm going to add some of that to my greens on this side and over here too. So just more dark, more concentrated paint. Words are hard, guys, words are hard. And we're just gonna do some of those flicks over the top of some of them, and even add in some new ones if you want for some contrast. But I'm not painting everything. So you kind of pick and choose how much you wanna add. You don't wanna do too much. You don't wanna do too little. And maybe in here too, in between, we can do some marks. So in a bouquet, you usually have a lot of things, a lot of florals, a lot of greens, and so we can even add those in between just to kind of make everything look more cohesive. And one thing that I love to do is just take my brush and dab some green in there just to cover up some of those white spaces, those empty spots. And I did say we could put some greens here, so you can go really dark if you wanted to. You can add in some quick flick of the wrist moments to put in some more of those greens. Just a little bit here. So another little rule that we hear a lot, actually let me grab some more green for this part here. Another rule is don't tilt your paper. So you should have to learn to paint everything, like don't move it around. Paint everything from every angle. And I think that's just silly. Now I'm not tilting it today because I don't want it to be off center when I tilt it back for the camera. It's a little bit of an annoyance in that way, but you should tilt away because some flowers, for example, are just easier to paint, you know, sideways or upside down. And so I just think that you should do what's most convenient or what makes you most joyful when it comes to your paintings. For this here, I did want to add in just a few little stripes and just kind of following the contour here. So, you know, this isn't going to be anything, you know, anything super accurate. It's just putting in some texture. There's already some blooms here, but just to add a little bit to this vase. So just quickly kind of curving it around. Not perfect. And that's okay. Okay, and that's it for that part. I like that. Sometimes, you know, I gotta hold my breath because it's really hard to do if I'm talking. So I want to do some dark middles. I'm going to grab, on the end of my palette here, I've got a navy. It's a Payne's gray. It's so beautiful. So I'm just going to do some simple little dots just to create the middle here for this one. Since my flowers are so light, contrast is just really pretty with that darkness. And friends, the last tip I wanted to share with you is just about the rule where people say either out loud or in their heads that you must follow a reference exactly how it is. And I don't agree. I actually change my reference all the time because I want to make something my own. And so if you've ever felt like you had to, and if you didn't get it exactly right, then you felt like a failure, like you didn't do it right, remind yourself it's okay to make it your own. And actually it's encouraged, by me anyway. I'm going to do a little bit of green here just on the end of the flower there. And so making it your own, giving it its own style. You don't have to worry about copyright laws and all that because you've created a unique painting to yourself. Now, it's not a bad thing to copy someone else's painting, just give them the credit. You're supposed to, by law, make sure that you credit the source. So that original painter or photographer, whatever you've copied, that they get credit for their work. And that's the rule on that. So, but if you want to make your own, more power to you. Just a little contrast with some more orange here. And I hope you've taken a breath throughout this. If you know me, you know I like to encourage that. Take a breath, remind yourself you are having fun and you are learning. Let's do a little splatter. A little orange here. Tap, tap, tap. 1, 2. I like to do it in 3 spots. So now's the time to observe your painting and see if there's anything else you need to change. I'm actually pretty happy with this one, so I'm going to keep it this way. This is going into my Etsy shop. And I'm tempted to put in some, contrast for this flower, but I really love this bloom and this bloom. They were unintentional and they just happened. And so that's a whole big piece of maybe breaking the rules, because sometimes you find some amazing things that happen. Embrace the mistakes. They become those happy accidents, and just enjoy your art. It's for you. I hope that was relaxing for you. I do try to put the relaxation in with all the things because as a therapist, I can't not do it. So let me know in the comments what you think I should paint next. And just some things to remind you of. I do have a free class tomorrow on Monday. So the link is down below. Click on it, sign up. We're gonna be painting some flowers. I mean, big surprise, but it's fun to paint live, to answer your questions, and just to commune with you guys. Also, still have a few spots left for Scotland, so if you're thinking about Scotland, get on the list. Link below. And I do have a freebie that is coming up very soon. So, oh yeah, Patreon. Also, I have membership, content, exclusive things, so much fun. So you can take a look and see if you're not part of that membership. Just to paint more things in flowers, I've got landscapes, mixed media. We've got our Zoom coming up tomorrow as well. Anyway, so much fun. Thank you for being here, you guys. I hope you take some more time than just now, to do some self-care and remind yourself that you take care of you so that you can help take care of and love on the people that are most important to you. Happy painting, happy mental health. Mwah. See you guys soon.